This Russian turtle tank stands motionless in the middle of a field. From the kamikaze drone's camera, which is equipped with a cumulative projectile, you can see that it likely hit a mine because one of its tracks is completely destroyed. The first drone strikes. The second drone was directed at a weak spot, a gap between the metal structures. It skillfully completes the task, after which a fire starts. After a while, the fire intensifies and the tank burns down. This tank was rushing to assault Ukrainian positions. It was met with fire from the tree line. One accurate shot forced it to stop forever. The turtle tank was hit and attacked by drones. They fly into the hole at the back of the tank under its armor covered with metal protection. The first drone strikes. The second drone flies into the same spot. The third drone delivers such a powerful blow that it causes the tank to catch fire. Donetsk region. Ukrainian soldiers noticed two infantry fighting vehicles in turtle configuration moving towards Ukrainian positions. Artillery started targeting them. One of the vehicles hit a mine but continued moving. After traveling a few dozen meters, it hit another mine, which proved fatal. The vehicle exploded and started burning. In this assault, the Russians deployed 6 units of equipment. As you can see, the assault failed. Ukrainian fighters with javelins and FPV drones successfully thwarted the Russian plans. Among the destroyed equipment, you can notice another turtle tank, armored with metal plates. To completely destroy it, several kamikaze drones were launched into the air, one of which strikes the tank from behind. Another locates the tank's weak spot and delivers a blow, after which the tank is finally immobilized and unlikely to be evacuated. By the way, give a like to the drone operator for his skillfulness. You probably have a logical question. Why do the Russians create such cumbersome structures around the tank? Here is an example of good protection made of thick, solid sheet metal, which has a weak open spot in the front, but is completely closed at the back. However, this is an exception. Here is a photo of another type of armor following this scheme. For example, made from slate, metal mesh on a frame, with thin construction metal sheets attached to the tank, and there are even some made of wood. The fact is that these tanks are used for protection during assaults involving a large amount of other equipment. In this footage, we see a tank leading the column, equipped with a powerful electronic warfare system that complicates the operation of FPV drones and certain types of missiles. Here's a real example of how this works. A drone loses connection due to interference and ends up simply falling in front of the tank and detonating. The next point to note is that the turtle tank moves through open fields, which are usually mined. To protect the tank's running gear, a KMT-7 mine roller is attached to it. In this video, you can see a T-72 tank fitted with one of these mine rollers. The tank is also armored with metal sheets and an additional grid made of rebar. Combined with the mine roller, this significantly increases its weight. The engine is clearly not designed for such an overload. Just listen to how it sounds. You can also notice that, in addition to the mine roller, an EMT electromagnetic attachment is mounted. This attachment creates a magnetic field in front of the tank, with an intensity that ensures mines detonate 4 to 6 meters ahead of the tank. Now you can see real footage of a turtle tank moving across an open field, which is likely littered with mines. It has a similar plow attached, which it uses to drive over the mines. Look at the powerful explosions with pieces of metal flying in all directions. The driver abandons the vehicle and runs away. And what is left of the tank will most likely be finished off by FPV drones. Let's return to the battlefield. In this case, the turtle tank fulfilled its mission. It delivered the assault group and returned unscathed. However, Ukrainian soldiers tracked it. They located its parking spot in one of the hangars and destroyed it along with the tank. Ukrainian aerial reconnaissance detected another tank with metal armor in the field. An FPV drone approaches the target but does not strike immediately. It circles around to assess the situation and notices that the tank's track is damaged. A decision is made to finish off the vehicle. The drone accelerates and strikes the tank's cannon. another drone is launched, which circles behind the tank and strikes the engine. The electronic warfare (EW) systems that the Russians install on their Frankenstein tanks will soon become ineffective. Here is a recent video showing a powerful EW system mounted on a grill tank. Look, the same system is also installed on a turtle tank. This doesn't stop the drone operator from approaching an open hatch and accurately dropping a grenade. After the explosion, a fire breaks out, and eventually, the tank is completely destroyed. The reason drones can approach equipment with EW systems without interference is the signal range. Ukrainian forces operate on a wide range of signals, selecting frequencies that the EW systems cannot jam. In this video, you can see the successful operation of a new development by Ukrainian forces, a homing drone. You can see a square that captures and locks onto the target. Even if the Russian EW system disrupts the drone's communication, it will continue to stay locked on the target and eventually strike it automatically. The turtle tank will be reduced to a heap of burnt metal, as you can see in these photos. The same thing happened during the recent offensive on Kharkiv. A column of various equipment was destroyed, including the Frankenstein tank, which, like the rest, was destroyed by FPV drones. This video is from a Russian workshop. After instances of turtle tanks being destroyed, they decided to weld on these additional elements. They believe these will protect the weak spot where kamikaze drones often hit from a steep trajectory. This video clearly demonstrates the effectiveness of their innovation. The turtle tank is burning. A moment later, it explodes violently. Tiny pieces of molten metal fly tens of meters. Yes, the turtle tank caused some surprise initially, but Ukrainian soldiers quickly adapted. Today, they do not pose a critical threat. Of course, more drones are needed to destroy them. For example, it might take 4 FPV drones to destroy a single piece of equipment, with a total cost of around $2,000. But even 100 drones do not compare to the cost of an older Soviet T-72, which is $4 million. In general, the Russians focused on characteristics such as maneuverability and speed when producing tanks. Western military equipment models have paid more attention to both passive and active protection systems. This has affected the operational characteristics, but not critically. Moreover, a French-German company recently went even further and has already developed and installed a special module on the Boxer multi-purpose combat armored vehicle that shoots down drones. You can see 9 simulated drone targets being lifted into the air for testing. Inside, the crew identifies the targets displayed on the screen using a 360-degree surveillance system. The operator opens fire with a 30mm cannon, accurately hitting the targets with airburst rounds. Just look at how quickly the drones fall, like flies. The system works very precisely and quickly, leaving the drones no chance, not only to hit, but even to approach the armored vehicle. At the same time, it feels like the Russians are going back to the times of the Roman Empire. Look at the similarity. By the way, share your thoughts in the comments on what you think is more important. Since everything on the battlefield changes very quickly, it is hard to say how effective various configurations of barbecue armor are. Sometimes they do save the equipment and crew, as you can see in this footage. The tank did not sustain serious damage and continued moving. But in most cases, it goes like this. The tank was completely destroyed. The detonation was so powerful that its turret was torn off and thrown to the side of the road. Once the fire is out, only scrap metal will remain. Chasiv Yar. A Russian IFV is moving across the field to assault Ukrainian positions. Artillery is firing at it. Behind it is a tree line where Ukrainian soldiers are positioned. They launch a javelin. The missile hits its target precisely, ending the assault before it even begins. Now you can see equipment covered with construction materials, thin metal sheets that flew in all directions from the drone strike. It's unclear what the Russians were expecting. The video shows how FPV drones deal with this type of armor. The equipment is completely destroyed. From the drone camera, we can observe a frontal collision between a kamikaze drone and a Frankenstein tank. One hit might not destroy it, but it will likely cause panic, or even force it to stop. Several more drones were launched against it. From one of their cameras, it's evident that the tank's metal armor has almost disintegrated and is no longer serving any purpose. Eventually, it met the fate of other similar machines. I hope you enjoyed the video. Thank you for watching, and see you next time.